Hello everybody and welcome back to our player guide series. My name is Zen and I'm going to be walking you through our first advanced guide, which is the PTS and what the heck the PTS actually is. Well, the PTS stands for Public Test Server, and basically it's a separate server from the live game that hosts a variety of bug testing and feedback for upcoming content and changes. For example, in patch 2.5, when it was on the PTS, they were testing Galactic Starfighter before it ever went live, and several balance changes were actually made before the patch ever hit the live servers based on the feedback given from the PTS players. So really, the PTS is an incredibly valuable tool that the devs use to make sure that the content is as good as it possibly can be. Now, this doesn't mean that it always comes out bug-free. In fact, oftentimes bugs and unbalanced changes actually make their way through. But just imagine how worse it would be if they didn't have the PTS. I mean, it actually reduces quite a number of different bugs or unbalanced changes coming into the game, even though you do see those every now and then. But how do you access the PTS? Now, this is a question I get a lot of every time I do a preview video, is how do I get onto the PTS? Well, the first thing is that you need to have an active subscription to the game. So you need to be a subscriber to actually access the PTS. And then second, you have to have it downloaded. And there's a process to get it downloaded. So you actually do it from your launcher. So once you have your launcher open, at the bottom left, there is a button with gears on it. You click on that, and under Enable Public Test Server Access, you just select yes. Now, once you've actually logged in through the launcher, so you put in your account information, you log in, and then you get to the next part where you normally hit play. Before hitting play, there should be a new button in the bottom left with arrows. You click on that one, and it's an environment selector. And then you just select Public Test, and you move on with your selection. And once you've done that, it will automatically begin downloading the PTS. It will take a while if it's the first time you're downloading the PTS, but once you have it downloaded, any subsequent downloads will just be updates, which also may take quite a long time. I suggest doing it overnight, but that is just me. It also needs to be mentioned that you will not have your interface the first time you log on to the PTS, because it creates a separate file where you'll have to copy your interface too, right? So imagine you log in, you have the default interface, you wouldn't be able to select your one that you have selected on the live servers. So what you have to do is you have to go to the file and copy over your old one. So you need to know the two locations of where these are at. They're actually pretty close to each other, so it makes it a little easier. The original interface file in the default format will be under C, and this is obviously on Windows, C users / username, so whatever your username for the computer is, / app data / local / SWTOR / SWTOR undercase / settings / GUI profiles, and under there will be your default file for your interface. Now, for the PTS, it's pretty much the exact same location, except it's /SWTOR / public test / settings / GUI profiles, and that's where you copy over your new one. And it's fairly easy to find if you're at all computer savvy, and if not, you could just do a search for GUI profiles and it should pop up. Also, upon logging in for the first time, even before you get into a character, you're going to realize you don't have any characters and the entire server list will be empty. But what you need to do is you either need to make a new character, which, I mean, who wants to level a character that could possibly be removed at any time anyways, or you can copy one over. And in order to copy one over, you need to go to the main Star Wars website. Once you're at SWTOR.com, you go to My Account in the top right corner after you've logged in, and on the left-hand side of your account, you go to PTS Character Copy. And then you select the realm that your characters are on, then you choose the character that you wish to copy. You can copy any of them, and then you select Start Copy on the next page after that, and it will automatically start copying the character. I would say give it about 5 minutes before you log into the PTS, especially if the PTS had just come up and it's a fresh start, because a lot of people will be copying over their characters, and it can take a few minutes for it to copy successfully. However, if you do log in and your character's not there, you could try logging out, waiting 20 minutes, and then try logging back in, and it should be there. If it's not, I would suggest talking on the forums about it and putting that as a bug. But we'll tell you about the forums in a second. It is worth noting, though, that you can copy the same character over and over, not just a single character. You can also copy any of your characters as many times as you want. It will fill up the server list on the PTS, and eventually it just won't copy them over if you have a full list. So say, 12 is your max, and you wouldn't be able to copy more than 12 unless you have more character slots on the PTS. The PTS is also subject to character wipes, so at any given time, you may lose your character on there, so don't get too attached to it. It has been a while since they've done a character wipe, but it is subject to happen. Also, the PTS is not always online because it's a PTS and it's not a live server, but when they do have new content up, it should be online, and you can always check whether it's online in 3 different places. The first is SWTOR.com/test-center. And then the second is the PTS forum, which we kind of talked about earlier, where you can, go to read all the patch notes and everything, but you can also give feedback there. We'll talk about that. But you can go to the forum under community on the Star Wars website. And then you can also just try logging into the PTS and see if it's up. So there's 3 different ways of actually seeing if it's online. Now, if you do play on the PTS, then the forums for the PTS are a very important place, regardless of how much you may hate forums and how much forums typically have a lot of hate on them, specifically to the developers. The PTS forum is incredibly important because it's one of the ways that we're able to provide feedback based on the content that we're getting on the PTS. So whether you are having a crazy bug that you need to report, or you're playing through the new content that's on the PTS and you're feeling like it could be better if, whatever, if something was added that you have an idea for, or, you just want to say like, hey, good job on this stuff, then go to the PTS forum and either look through the current threads there and see if there's someone else having the same issue as you or wants to give the same feedback, and then you could just add to their thread. But if there isn't, create a new one and try to give as constructive as feedback as possible, because this feedback will possibly change the game. So you want to try to be as articulate as you can as well, just so you're really getting your point across and you're not being mean to the developers, because this is all preview content, so it may not be final. That's the other thing you need to realize about the PTS is things are really subject to change, so things may not actually go live, other things may change completely, and when you're playing on the PTS, just keep that in mind before you give crazy amounts of feedback that, this stuff could change anyways, and if it's broken, then it's probably going to be fixed. But with all of that being said, if you have any questions on how to get to the PTS or even copy your interface over to it, let me know in the comments below and I'll try to get back to them as soon as possible. But we shall see you guys next time.